Right, we're going to fit the doors. I've gone for black aluminium. I've tried to move away from the anthracite, done it for years now. Opted for the black. It's got a light fine texture on it as well from Express by Falls. Fit the window yesterday. I'll let you have a look at the window a bit later. I'm going to show you how to fit the doors now. They're just a set of opening outward French doors, and I've gone for integrated blinds as well, and the blinds are black as well, which you can't actually get from Express at the moment, to go direct to the manufacturer. And the blinds are black as well, so a really nice touch to them, I think anyway. So what we're going to do first, we're going to cut the sill. I've got a new chop saw and it's got a brand new blade in it, and I'm reluctant to use that for cutting the sill, so we're going to use the circular saw with the metal cutting disc, the same disc we cut the panels with. So if you're going to build one of these, this is like, you're reducing the amount of tools you need, isn't it? Because all you need is your circular saw. You've got the metal cutting disc, you can cut your panels, and if you opt, and the disc will cut plastic as well. So if you opt for metal, you're good with that. I'm going to show you how to cut the sill with that. If you opt for plastic, you're good with that because it'll cut that as well. So we're reducing the tools all the time, and then what we're going to do, we're going to put a trim round to tidy up the front door, like an architrave, just cover the cladding, the sides of the cladding, and to tie in the door as well. But let's get on and show you how to cut the sill. Right, our doors are 1800, so we're going to cut the sill at 1800. Except we're not, we're going to reduce it by the length of these end caps, which actually go on. I'll show you them going on as well. And they're 3mm a piece, so we're going to knock 6mm off 1800. And the easiest way to do that, so you're not screwing it up because your maths is crap, is measure your 1800. Mark that. And then just reduce it by 6mm. And then you can't mess up, can you? So measure it again, 1800, and reduce it by 6mm, and that's your cut. Right, now we're going to cut it. We're going to use circular saw. It is with a metal cutting blade in it, yep. And we're going to use the speed square as well. We're also going to put on our safety glasses and our air defenders, because again, it's cutting metal, it's loud and it's dangerous. So we're just going to pull the knife across there, just get rid of them burrs. And then the end cap will sit nicely over the cut, the vast majority of it. And all you can see then is just a tiny little bit of silver there. So what we're going to do is get a Sharpie and just colour it in. And it'll just take that little bit of silver off. Right, that's your sill. This one has already been drilled. It's got its drill holes in there and under there, so your water's going to drain out of there. So what we're going to do now is we're going to dam it. And basically, we're just going to fill that with silicone, pop the end cap on, give it a clean, and do exactly the same. And what will happen is then your door frame will sit on there. Any water that comes down will go into that track, through that hole, and out the hole there, and it won't come out of there and back into your room, which is obviously not what you want. So we've got our wipes at the ready. And like I say, we're just going to literally fill that. And what that'll do then is, like I said, stop any rainwater coming back into your room, but it'll also stick the end cap on. Like double-sided purpose. Yeah, that'll fill in there, and that in there just to catch the back of the end cap. Pop the end cap on, like that. Give it a good squeeze. You can see the silicone coming out now. So we'll get a trade wipe and just give that a nice clean off. Yeah, lovely. And we'll do exactly the same on the other side now as well. Right, that is your sill ready to fix down. Okay, right, so that's the sill going in. Yeah, remember we made our opening, what did we make it? I think I made it 10mm wider, didn't I? Can't remember, I think it was 10mm. So there's a bit of play in there, so what we're going to do is we're going to centralise it. Yep, and then what we're going to do then is we're going to get this trim, it's the corner trim for the cladding, that sits over there like that. Now I know that, because I've done the window yesterday, I know that I can't find my pencil, There it is. So what we want is that cladding to go over there and the door to butt up to that. So what that will mean is the line that I'm now drawing on there is where I want the door to sit. And what I know as well is these have got a little ridge on there, and that's where the door actually frame finishes. So the frame will go up there from that ridge up. So we want our frame to sit like that. So what I'm going to do is get my little thing, little block, and I'm just going to put a mark. If I ever find a pencil, just put a mark where my frame wants to sit, my sill rather. Again with this one, just going to double check this side. Yeah, that one's looking good. And that one's looking good. So what I'm doing, I'm lining up the back side of that with that little ridge. And then I know that my frame is going to get, when I put my frame in plumb, because my building is plumb and square, and this is level because I've levelled it all up. When I put my frame in, then my frame will butt up to that and everything will be concealed and the trim will be finished. So what I'm going to do now is take this back off. I'm going to put a load of silicone underneath that. Because I've always got an aluminium base there, we need to drill into it. So I've got some tech screws, which you'll have seen us use before when we're fixing the steel beam. Right, here we go. Oh, missed it. This is just to prevent any water ingress from under the sill. Right, won't worry about that just in a minute. Oh, put my hands through it and look at that idiot. I'm going to clean that off because I don't want silicone all over my sill. Right. Even that, and then I'm going to get these tech screws in, and I'm hoping that they're going to go straight through the aluminium. Whoop. Scratch the sill. That's not what you want. What I need to do now is get this door up. Now I've actually weighed this door, it's 46 kilos, which, yeah, it's not a massive amount of weight, but we don't want to scratch the sill, do we? So, we're gonna, I think I'm gonna put some cardboard on it this time, because we used to use 1mm packers, well we still do, but 1mm packers, but they need to have 2 or 3 people lifting it in for you, guiding it down, not a problem. But I'm gonna struggle with this because it's heavy. So I'm gonna put cardboard down and then pull it out afterwards. I think that's my plan. Right, what I've done there, look, I've just screwed 2 blocks of wood either side. That'll prevent the door from falling out if I can't control it. And what I'll also do and all is get 2 battens that I can screw on the inside, so that once I get it in, I can relax a little bit then. What it needs also is just the light that's pushing out now. Let's get that filled with silicone. There you go, that's you filled. Right, we need a line along the back there, that raised edge, and that'll just prevent, again, any water coming in. You fill there. There we go. Right, let's see if we can do this. Right, let's get it exactly where it wants to be. We're good there. Right, up and over that little ridge, hopefully. Right, I feel them on the ridge there. Let's try and get the cardboard out. It is tight. Let's jack it up with that. that's in. Is it pulled back? Here it is. Right, what's going to happen is I'm going to open the door and it's going to want to pull out the rear door, which is alright because I've got decent fix on the front ones. Why wouldn't it be locked? Of course it would be. Right, unlock that. That's going to want to pull out, like I said. Yeah, but it's not going anywhere. Right, let's get some fixings into this sill. What I haven't done, which I normally do, I normally mark up where my bottom screws are, and I've completely forgotten about that. So what I'm going to do, you tend to screw where it's comfortable all the time, so you tend to often hit your heads because that's the position you were in previously because it was comfortable. So what I'm going to do is just stand slightly to the side. And get another one in there. Right, again, that's going to want to pull out. Yeah, oh, it can't go nowhere. Right, I'll count myself lucky there because I've not hit one of the screws below. Yeah, normally mark them up on the floor where they are. Right, we're good at that. Now, if you remember back when we put these flashings in, like I say, it's about 24 degrees, 21, 23, 24, something. It's supposed to be 29. Anyway, I digress. Right, what was it? Right, and put them flashings on. Do you remember I put the piece of wood inside the flashing? Because when I've looked at other companies and they put the flashing on and then you put your metal tech screws, they don't get a great good fix because they create like a thread, but because the metal's so thin on the flashing, you don't get a good fix. So I put 20mm of timber behind, so I want to get a good solid fix behind there, above there, because this pod of course is going to get lift, but not just that. I want the doors to be in a good well fixed in, do you know what I mean? Not half job kind of thing. So, I'll show you what I'm going to do now. Right. I'm going to get my sills fit at the bottom, yeah, can't move anywhere. Now I'm going to fix the screw at the top, and the only thing I'm going to do is plumb the door that way, not that way. So I know my building's square, got exactly the same batten, exactly the same cladding both sides. So I'm just going to push my door up to that trim, and it'll make my life a lot easier when I trim it. Plus, I know my door is square because everything is flush and right, as it should be. Alright, so what I've done there, look, that's a little bit of the corner trim, so it's tight against that, and that door, when that door is touching that now, like that frame, that's how it wants to get fixed. So all I need to do now is plumb it that way. Right, that's perfect as it is now. So what I need to do now is get myself some packers in here. Right, so I know it's plumbed, so what I'm going to do now is just look for the perfect amount of packers. There we go. Right, so when it touches my trim, I know I'm good that way. So it's plumbed that way as well. So I can get some screws in there, pack it up, and that other leg will be what it'll be because it's a square frame. Because it's a square frame on a level thing, then that leg has to be level too, doesn't it? Because it can't be anything else. If that's plumb, that one has to be plumb because it's square. Right, so as I said, I've got timber behind them flashings, yeah. Now, the 100mm screws, they don't really want to go into that just by themselves on their own accord, so I'm just going to pilot each one just to get me through that. See what's happened there, look. Chuck burn. Right, so what I'm going to do there now to prevent that happening again, I'm just going to drill through a packer. And then that will then prevent my drill from hitting the frame. Which is a lot better job, isn't it? I don't know why I didn't think of that in the first place. And there, we're through that. So what we need to do now is get some packers in there, get some screws in, and that, apart from the head of the frame, is the door fit. And we just want to screw up, then into the head. I love it when the packer goes in tight like that. So this morning now we're going to go to Eurocell. Couldn't for life me think why. And then after that bit of burn then, I know exactly why, because we're going to get They sell like colours. They're like pens basically. Same colour as whatever you fit in. And then if you scratch it or damage it, you can just give it a little touch up. Which obviously not ideal, but it happened. See that? See the bite there? Now without the timber in there, you're not going to get that bite. Now, and I sometimes see other people doing stuff and I look at it and I think, that ain't going to work, or this is going to happen, that's going to happen. And just by cutting out a window and sticking some trims around it, you're not going to get a good fix. So make it bigger, stick some wood in them and do it right. You can see now, look, yeah, my little trim block there, butting up tight to there. There, happy. There we go. Right. Make sure they lock, which they do. Right, we're going to get the glass in now, and then we'll have a look at doing the trims. Right, getting the glass in is a skill in itself, one that you don't want to bolt up, because these units are not cheap. I'm talking about the ones with the integrated blinds. Right. Get right round here first. Right, so what we're going to do is I'm going to pack it off with a blue one. I'm going to explain the packing situation to you in a minute. Lots of you will have already seen it. Lots will be new to it. It's called tone healing. Right, put my packer like that already in, so I'm not fanning around trying to get a glazing shovel under. Right, glass in. Nudge it forward with my leg. Lower it down on the packer, and it should just slide in like that. Right, so we're in without it breaking, which is great. Right, what I want to do now is tone heal it. You think about a gate being braced. I don't know if you can see that. Maybe not wise to draw on there, although it would come off. Gate being braced. There's your garden gate. There's your fence post and there's your locking post. So it's hinged off here. So what's going to happen is that gate's going to want to sag down like that, yeah? So what they do then is they put a diagonal brace in it, and that is the way the brace is supposed to run from the bottom of the hinge side to the top of the latch inside. Yeah? And then that diagonal there prevents that from dropping. Obviously it's glass, we can't put a brace on. So it's absolutely baking in here now, put this glass in. Aircon, that might be something to think about. Right. So what we're trying to do is create a brace going like that, but because it's glass we can't put nothing solid in it. So what you do is you pack out that corner, you pack out the top corner, and then that corner there should be free, and that corner there should be, which is taking the weight off the bottom there, which will stop it from binding. Right, so what I want to do is get that across, like so. Let's push that back. Right, as you can see 2 packers trapped in there now. I'm going to do exactly the same up on the top, except I'm going to show you what we're going to do there. Right, can I step back and see if that's filming all right? If that glass goes, I will absolutely cry. Yeah, of course it is. Right, so we need to get the top in now. Glazing shovel, absolutely essential bit of kit. Right, so I'm going to get that packer in there. And the reason I put the packers is slightly askew. So these packers are only a certain width, and the glasses, what you don't want is the sun to get on the glass, and then what happens if one sheet of the glass is not supported? It slips and drops, and then the seal breaks, and then the unit's gone, and then it's game over. Right, so what I'm going to do now, you probably won't be able to see, I'm just going to put, can you see the frame going up and down? I'm just going to force it up a touch. Yeah, because that's what we want, just to go up like that. Because I do remember, let's have a look, see if we can open that. I do remember when I was fitting these, that one was just binding on the bottom. But now it's beautiful. Yeah, so what's happening now is we've created a diagonal brace in there, and I'm just going to put just one more mill in there. Just because I like to get a little bit tight. Right, that's in now, yeah. Right, so they're in. What you don't want to do now, fall at the last hurdle and break the bloody glass. Right, heads against the glass, stop it falling in. Only because I've got the bottom one to hand. There you go. Right, glazing hammer. Again, nylon, made out of nylon, plastic nylon. And it ain't going to break the glass, hopefully. Just give that a tap into place. And what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to get a packer in that one because it's not quite sat right, but it will sit right when the seal is in. Right, that's the wood right now. Let's try a grey one. Because what happens is it don't sit square, but when the seal's in, it sits square. So because it's at a little angle, it's then making that distance shorter when I put the top one in. But we don't want that. Sometimes you can push them in. There you go. Other times you can't. Right. Getting a little bit warm. Yesterday when I fit the window, I was really struggling because the sun was coming through the window. I was baking, I couldn't get the seals in, I was getting angry, like you do. And I thought, why the hell? Thought I'd just shut the blinds. And it made a world of difference. Right, what I'm going to do is just get a packer in, the trap and beads in. There we are. Fun and games bloody sealing these, I tell you. But they're beautiful, aren't they? Integrated blinds, absolutely stunning. Let's talk about something else now as well. Stickers. You want to get them stickers off the minute you get a chance, because you let them bake in the sun. Residue all over your window. So get rid of them. Right, I'm going to get the seals in now. The window seals for the window. The window seals for the window. The ones I put in yesterday were literally final boss seals. They were a nightmare at first until I sussed out what the hell we're doing. Right, door seals. Depending on who you get your glazing from. If it's UPVC, the seal is normally in the bead. Job done, not a problem. If it's aluminium, then you tend to have to put the gasket in, seal, whatever you want to call it. They can be very difficult sometimes. And especially in the summertime. Well, it's hard in the wintertime because the seal's colder and it's stiffer and it's harder to get in. In the summertime, you've got the heat and that's a pain in the ass as well. But what we're going to try and do is get them in relatively pain-free and see how we go on. I've shown you how to do these loads of times, but you might be new to the channel. You might not have seen any of this before. So it'll be all new to you. Right, seals. A bit of window cleaner is a good thing. It helps it slide in. 2 profiles on that seal. Looking like the small one goes in first. So what we're going to do is I'm going to give it a bit in there, although that will evaporate very quickly. Slide that over there like that. So the idea behind the packer is it holds the glass in and it holds the bead square, which then should give you, yeah, beautiful, a nice gap then for that to slide in. And then try and avoid digging your nails into it because it does leave marks. It doesn't look great. So what you can do is revert back to your plastic shovel again. Yeah, and that'll just slide in like that. Now what we're going to do is the short one, we're going to cut it a bit long. We're going to send the excess in behind that bead there, and what we're going to do is the long one we're going to leave 2 loops. It'll explain rather why. Pair of scissors, pair of nips, whatever you've got to hand. I'm just going to cut that off a bit too long. Slide that up. Get that bead up there like that. Slide that up into it and push it into there. So what we're going to do is just cut ourselves a bit of seal off. A bit longer than what we need. Yeah. Another tip is keep it off at floor. If you get any debris on the floor, what can happen then, it'll go on the seal and it can scratch the glass when you're putting it in. I love these black ones. These black window range they've got here now. It's got like a little texture on it. You can't see it. I've tried to film it and show you, but you can't see it. You can just feel it. Well, you can see it, but you can't see it on the camera. That's what I'm trying to say. The old spray. Push it tight up to meet the other one. Yeah, I'm coming down with that now. Right, what we're going to do now is we're going to leave a loop. And what we'll do then is, he says, right, can you see that excess there? Look, I don't know if you can see it because it's black, it's hard to see. And what we're going to do when we've got the bottom in, we're going to do the same further down the bottom as well. And then we've left extra, yeah? So if you get any shrink back, that additional bit should take up the slack, as it were. This seal's going in lovely, to be fair to it. It can be really difficult sometimes. That should just pop in. There, you see, even though there was a lot of excess, it's gone in, which is lovely. Do the same there as well, let's get rid of that. Right, we'll just do that side exactly the same as that side, and that's your window seal. What I'm going to do then is give the window a clean, internally and externally. No packers, Liam. You might find it just a little bit tricky going around your handle, and that's because what they've done there, they've screwed the handle tight, which has compressed the frame in, which has made everything just that little bit tighter. There, you see, once you get past the frame, the lock, it flew, didn't it? Nips under me, behind me, nobody knows. Right, it started raining, so we'll jump inside for a little bit. I've just been in the container to get my power plane. I've cut my angle grinder. So I am going to cut these aluminium tracks with my brand new DeWalt saw blade, but it is what it is. Right, they are black LED tracks, and they've got a little black LED diffuser as well, which I think is quite neat. So they're going to go on the bottom of the fascia because there isn't actually an overhang as such. I've got a 45 on that there, look, you can see that. I don't know if I've bought the right LED strip. I've gone for a soft white because I don't really like the bright white, but I'm thinking because it's black it might not shine through enough, but we'll have to wait and see. I'm going to drill it with a 5mm drill bit, then I'm going to use the countersink, and I'm going to put my little screws in like that. Then the LED strip will just stick to that because it's self-adhesive. Then the diffuser will go on, and bingo, we should have a halo light. So we're going to drill them, and we're going to cut a couple of miters. Now, the where's my thingy? Right, the diffuser itself is known. You can either cut it, if you cut it in the track, it's all right, yeah. But if you decide that you want to cut it out of the track for whatever reason, just to get your angle right. Now, Ronnie told me that he used these. Now, Ronnie made that windy down bar magic, and he told me that he used a pair of these on them. So let's just have a look if they cut. And they do, yeah. A lovely little 45. So angle shears, they were 14 quid from made about Eurocell, 14 quid. So we're going to cut them with them. Might just trim them up a little bit just to get them going. But yeah, they're nice, and hopefully the light will be nice.